So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we got seven of you guys here today. The stuff we're going to go over is just corner battles. That's it. We're going to make it really simple. We don't need to overcomplicate what it is, but there is a lot that's happening in a corner. And so a few things I want to talk about today are, hey, come on down if you listen. A few things I want to talk about today are how to recognize if you're in a position of advantage or disadvantage, if you're on offense or defense, what you should do. Depending on where your net is, you might want to do different things. How much you risk versus the reward that you can get for it. So it's basically, like those are kind of like the 4 or 5 main points that I just want to talk about. I'll make it interactive as well, so we'll do it. I'll show you a few examples of it, of stick positioning, whether you're the first in, you're the stick on top, or you're the stick underneath. All 3 of those require a different way of thinking about what you're trying to do with the ball. So that's what I want to do, so why don't we all jump over to a corner, and let's just jump right into it. Does that work? Okay, come on over. Anytime you're in a corner and the ball is there, I'm just going to use one person as an example if you want to come on in. So let's go. Do you guys have any preferences for what we should do first? Or do you just want to go over it all? If you have questions, ask me. Okay, let's do that. Yeah, there's a lot to go over, so feel free to ask lots of questions, okay? So it's going to be me guys team. We're on different teams, and we're going to assume that I am forechecking, so my net is on the other side. So this is Chi's net here, my net's over there, okay? She is obviously coming into the ball first, okay? So what I want to do here for my risk-reward scenario, if I come in right against him like this, it doesn't matter what side, so let's say the ball's right here. If I come in right in with him like this, my reward is maybe I get the ball, but he's between me and the net. So there's not a great chance, unless I can pass the ball around or there's somebody very, very open, the reward isn't really there for me to come in like this and try to steal the ball. But what am I risking? If I come in here and I risk it, I am risking she taking the ball, turning, knowing what I'm doing. Now I'm here literally as far as I can possibly be from the other net, and he's in creating an odd man rush. He's got the entire arena. So in this scenario here, if she has the ball, I'm going to stand up here. That's his ball. I don't care. Yeah, you have the ball, everything's okay. I'm not going to come in, try to put it, I'm not going to do any of that. I don't want to, because the risk of me losing him is way too high. The reward's not there. So everything that we're going to talk about today is risk versus reward. Okay? So, in this scenario, the best thing for me to do is just to allow him to be here. But again, we're going to go to risk reward again. Would I prefer to have him on his forehand or on his backhand? The answer is 95% of the time on his backhand. So, without even touching him, without doing anything, all I want to do is come in, you've got the ball, pretending that you're keeping the ball. I'm just coming in and I'm attacking his forehand. That's it. Very simple. I haven't touched him, I haven't touched the ball, I haven't done anything, but I'm saying, if you're going to come over here, that's my territory. This is my ball now. And so I'm going to push him. Now I'm going to push him to his backhand. Go ahead to your backhand. And now he's over here. Yeah, I want that. I want that all the time. Because hands up, we just did a warm-up for 10 minutes. Hands up if any of you did anything on your backhand. Nobody. Nobody practices their backhand. So, what should you do in a game? Put them on their backhand. All the time. Now notice, I haven't done anything. I haven't made contact, I haven't attacked his stick, I haven't touched the ball, but I've pushed him where I want him to go. And now if I do this right, I'm going to take this. As soon as he starts moving to that side, like this, that's where I come in, and I'm now going to take that ball. Does that make sense? He's not comfortable. I don't want him to be comfortable in that scenario. Putting people on their backhand is a very uncomfortable thing, and that's why you always want to do that in any time that you can. And you don't have to touch them. You don't have to do anything. You can just, by positioning your feet and your body in a certain area, you push them to that. And now I'm not in a rush. So let's say he wants to do that. He's still 100, 200 feet away from the net. That's okay. He can have the ball. We want him to have the ball there. You do your thing. I'm not in a rush. At some point, you're going to make a move where you're now going to become a threat. Now the risk of you coming in is getting higher. So, or the chance of you coming in and scoring. So I need to take more risk in order to get the ball. But in this scenario, I just don't care. Yeah, your ball. Go ahead. You do your thing. I'm going to be here, and that's it. Okay? So that's the defensive side if we're in the offensive zone. Does that make sense? So now we're going to do the same thing, but now we're going to switch roles. Okay? So the first scenario happened where she is clearly the winner. He was the first into the corner. Okay? Now we're going to do the second scenario of, I guess there's 3 scenarios. So the second scenario is I am clearly in the corner and it's my ball. All right? The third scenario is going to be we are shoulder to shoulder or you don't really know whose ball it's going to be. Okay? And then we'll go over that in a second. Okay? So if we switch now, I'm in here. Everything that I want to do, I am now thinking offense. So whatever you guys want to do here, you want the ball to go into the middle. The next pass you make doesn't necessarily have to go into the middle, but it's definitely the best pass to make. That's the one where if you can get anything in there and somebody has a shot, there's a good chance of scoring, or at least a good chance to be a quality scoring opportunity. So in that scenario, again, if I have this ball, probably one of the first things I want to do is take a look. I want to know what's happening. Yep, he's right there. Yeah, I know he's there. I know the ball is right here, but I'm not going to do anything yet. I need to know. So before I come in, quick look, or I take a quick look this way and see what's happening. Maybe he's going to give me pressure, and I can't do that. Let's say, for example, I'm just staring at the wall, right? And that happens a lot of times. You come in, you got the ball like this, and you're just like, I don't know what to do now. In any of those scenarios, your teammates have the obligation to help you along the walls. So that's something where your team will need to communicate, and if you can't see the middle, you shouldn't be throwing a blind pass up the middle. You should be going to the outside. Or you do what you need to do so that you can turn your body around, and now you're looking in the middle. Now you've got a lot of options. So that can be something where if he and I are coming in, let's say he's just going to stay there, or he's tired, or he's not quite sure what he's doing. If I can come in very quickly and put this ball where I want to put it here, now I have options, and he has to at least, he has to give me the respect that there are 2 or 3 different things I could do right now, and it's probably not in his best interest to just come in and attack. He probably wants to play it because he's doing the same risk-reward analysis that we just talked about. He's saying, okay, if I come in and I screw this up, I'm going to be on the opposite side. And I don't want that. I want to be there. So he wants to be there. He wants to take away all of this stuff in the middle because, like we just talked about, that's exactly where I want to go. And you can't cover 100% of everything, right? So having the awareness that, yeah, I'm not going to get it all. What is the biggest threat? What's the biggest risk here for him? It's the middle. So I want the middle. He wants to take away the middle. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. So those are kind of the 2 scenarios where you clearly have time, and then the other person clearly has time. Now we'll get into the one that's, the third one's a little bit trickier, and that's where we can probably get the camera in closer, where we have a corner battle, okay? Now what's gonna happen here, let's say we're both right here. So there's kind of 3 scenarios here. You can be the first in stick, you can be the top stick, or you can be the bottom stick. Those are kind of the 3 options that you have, okay? So if you're gonna have, I'm gonna come to this side, this is a little like that. Okay, so if I'm the first in stick, do you guys like, let's try to make it a little more interactive. What do you guys think are some of the risks of being the first in stick? Are there anything? I can go, sorry? Elbows. Elbows, yeah, you definitely risk getting some elbows if you're the defender. For me, I'm not too worried about it. I'm the one giving the elbow, but I shouldn't be doing that. What are some other risks of me being the first in stick? Stick lift, that's probably one of the biggest ones. So if I'm gonna be the first one in, let's have an example really slow. I'm gonna come into the corner, he's just gonna pop my stick. So he wasn't the first in stick, but he was underneath. So he has advantage. So So in that scenario, just because I'm the first person here doesn't necessarily mean that I'm the one who's most likely to get the ball. Does that make sense? So the same thing happens if we're coming in again. If I'm the first in stick and I know that he's coming in and he wants to pop, I can put some pressure down on my stick. But that's going to come with a little problem. So we'll show an example of that where we're coming in, I'm first in, he's trying to lift, I'm pushing down, but now I can't take the pressure off. If I take the pressure off my stick, he now has the ball. So that's the challenge here, is that as soon as you put the pressure on, you have to keep it off. And if you can't, or if they overpower you, it's their ball. So that's the challenge there. As soon as you're the top stick and you're putting that pressure on, the only way I'm going to get to that ball is if I'm freakishly fast or I have some other way of boxing them out to take the ball. Does that make sense? Okay, so we talked about first in. We'll talk about me being underneath now. Okay, so let's say she's going to be the first one in, or both of us are at the same time. Something that I want to do is I can pop the ball similar to what he did. But now what I see a lot of people do in here specifically in these kinds of battles is I see people come in and they do one of these. And it gets ridiculous. There's absolutely no need for it. The only distance that you need to pop a stick is just barely above the height of a ball. That's it. That's it. So when you're coming in, all you want to do, if he's coming in, I just want to have him pop and go. And that's it. And that saves you time, because here's the challenge with that, is if we both, let's show that, if the higher I go, the more time he realizes that his stick is being caught. So what's he going to do? Now we're in a battle, like we talked about before, where he's now the top stick, and I'm the bottom stick. So we're in this battle, he has to keep his stick down. Right? This is a disadvantage for him. It's still better to be underneath, but as soon as I move that stick away, he's gone. If I'm going to try to move it and pull the ball, do something like that, he'll take it and go. So you don't want to lift high. All you want to do, if you do it right, it's just a very quick pop. That's it. That's all you want to do, and then go. Does that make sense? So that's kind of the main things that you want to do. I guess to recap, so if somebody is in the corner already, they have the ball, you don't need to get in there and go shoulder to shoulder. You want to stay out. Push them to their backhand by your presence, and then if you see an opportunity, challenge the ball. If I'm the